Howdy y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you how we are going to create this fun slimline gatefold card with a twist. And this is our twist. So if y'all are interested in learning out how I created this card, just set a spell, kick your shoes off, and let's begin. So we have some craft cardstock that we're gonna work with, and we are going to score it along the long side rather than the short side. So we're going to butt our paper up to the 2-inch mark. We are then going to score along the 3 7/8 line and the 7 3/8 line. Basically, if you have a score pal, these two markations have a little triangle that's pointing towards you. Okay, so now we can bring in our bone folder and set the creases in. There you go. There's our little slimline card. Okay, now we're going to set this aside and we're going to work on our surprise. Now our surprise piece, I know you're like, it's just white cardstock, but wait, there's more. Okay, so this piece measures at, I'm going to say 3 5/8 by 6 7/8. And we're going to start out by scoring at the 1/2 inch mark right here. Then we're going to score at the 2 1/8 inch mark. And finally, at the 3 1/2 and 4 inch mark. Then we're going to flip it and repeat the process of scoring at the 1/2 inch and the 2 1/8 inch, and yeah, we needed to fold again at the, we need to fold at the 3 1/2 and 4. We at least need to score at the 4. We can probably skip the 3 1/2 since it's such a small line. I think that'll be okay. Let's score this. I know this is utterly confusing, and I am so sorry for that. Okay, so these are going to get glued down. And then we're going to do this and this, and we're going to so we've already done the scoring for this, and now all we have to do is actually work on this piece. And by that, I mean we are going to bring out our Crackling Campfire and our weathered wood. So we're going to do a bit of swinking. Swinking is just swiping your ink onto your card. So you do, hang on. Okay, so you do that, and then we're going to bring in our weathered wood and repeat the process. We are going to bring out some stamps. These stamps are by Maymay Made It, and the set that they belong to is called Nailed It. We're going to use our VersaFine Clair to ink up our stamps. And we're just going to stamp them all at once. We're going to bring in our Chucky to help us make sure we get some nice even pressure over our stamps. So now our stamps look beautiful. Our stamped images look beautiful, don't they? I don't know if beautiful is the right word for this card though, because it's going to be a Father's Day card after all. So now we are going to set these images to dry a bit before we color them. We will now be stamping inside of our card. So we're just going to take this flap and fold it in the other direction, and we're going to stick our card base in here. We're going to bring back our VersaFine Clair Nocturne and ink up our stamp. And we're going to put it right here. And we're going to take our little Chucky and we're going to make sure we do some nice even pressure. Okay. There we have a nice crisp sentiment. And all that's left for this is to decorate our Gatefold Slimline card. To decorate our Gatefold Slimline card, we are bringing in some stamps, and these are from Maymay Made It. They are part of the Patina stamp set. And we're going to be using Salvaged Patina for this. Okay, so we're just going to decorate the front and the sides. We can also decorate a little in the middle. So I'm going to just, I'm going to start out with this stamp and just ink it up and place it down. Okay. So now we're just going to continue this process with the rest of the stamps, and once we're done, we will then activate our Oxide ink. There you go. Now we can just bring in our spray bottle and spray onto our inked up images. And we can set that aside for a couple of minutes. Okay. So now we can just do that on the front side as well. Now we are going back to this piece and we're going to help make it look more like it might actually be wood. Now how do we do that? Bring in our T-square along with a black Sharpie, and we're going to butt our little ruler up to this piece of paper. We're going to draw a line. I know, it's just a line so far, but it will look more like wood once we're done, I promise. And it's okay that we're not finishing this line because this is one of the folds that goes inside the card and gets glued down. Okay, now what we do is we start drawing in some additional lines. There you go. Now when it goes into the card, it will look a little more like wood. You know, that good weathered shiplap wood. Now we're going to get back to all of these cool little tools that we stamped earlier, and we will be coloring these in. We're going to use some Prismacolor Premier pencils to help us with our coloring. These pliers actually remind me of my favorite tool, which will be coming out in a little bit. If you're new to my channel, that tool happens to be baby oil, sticks to help us use the baby oil over our colored area. Now we just need to blend all of our colored region. We're going to do that by removing the cap and the safety cap on our baby oil. We're going to start out with blending our red, just because that's where I started out. Now all you need to do is rub this over your paper in order to clean it, and then you can go back and do it all over again. We're going to do the black now. So we're going to set this aside for a while to let it dry a bit before we bring in our fussy cutting scissors. We will now take this image, which has been stamped and now has embossing powder, and we will heat emboss it. I think that looks rather nice. Okay, so we will use this die right here, which is called Sizzix Tickets. And I'm just going to grab some washi tape to hold our die in place. Now, of course, if you don't have the die cut that I used, what you could do is bring in the We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dile corner chomper and use the stub end to help you out. We will now be bringing in these Fisker scissors and fussy cutting these tools. After we fussy cut them, we're going to stick them onto our little, well, it's kind of like a little basket. Yeah, let's call it a basket. So first, I'm just going to cut along and make some sections. Really, it's a matter of just turning the paper while you cut, but if you forget that, these scissors are really nice to help you out with that. Now we're just trying to get an overall shape because we are going to go back in with a black marker to color in the edges. Oh, and our stamp set Nailed It, which is where our tools came from and our sentiment on the front panel came from, has these little nail stamps. So we're going to scatter them around. And the best way to do that is just to put them side by side and just go to town. So we're going to use this little stamp press along with VersaFine Clair in the color Nocturne. So I have scattered quite a lot of these little nails, and that's okay. Just means we're going to use the smaller stamps for our salvaged patina on this card front. Now we're going to bring our salvaged patina back in. We're going to use these smaller stamps to help us do just that. So I just want to scatter them around to kind of, make it so that it's not such a big surprise when the recipient opens their card to find all of the rest of our patina pieces in there. Okay, so now we just need to spritz it and we'll be done. So I'm going to close this up so as not to necessarily activate the other pieces that are still in there that haven't been activated yet. There you go. So, of course, we're not going to put paper clips on it when we send it or give it to our recipient, but instead we're going to just present it to them like this, and then they can open it and okay, so it doesn't pop up right away, so it needs a little assistance with the pop-up part. But it does pop up, and you do get to see all these cool tools. So, I would like to thank y'all so much for sticking with me to the end of the video. I hope y'all stay safe, stay healthy, stay crafty. Bye!